Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new Galaxy Z Flip3, the Z Flip, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone. So let's just pop it straight open and get straight to the device. I am actually quite excited for this one because it is a foldable device at actually a reasonable price. Instead of like previously costing $1,500 or $1,600, nowadays it comes out basically as much as you would pay for a normal flagship, which that's actually amazing. So anyway, in here, as you can see, obviously we have some paperwork. I'm not even gonna go in there. No one cares about it at all. We get the phone itself. Let's just place it aside. And here we get some paperwork. And unfortunately, we don't have a charger. But hey, honestly, for considering the fact that this is a foldable device that still comes around the flagship price of $1,000, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of fine with it. I wasn't really fine with the Galaxy Fold 3, the big boy, because that device costs $1,800 and still doesn't come with a charger. Now that is kind of insulting, to be honest, to pay so much money and not even get a charger for it. Let's see, I'm trying to open this up, but let's be honest, there's nothing interesting in here, so let's just get rid of that and go straight to the device. Oh, that feels nice. There we go. So anyway, let's power it on. There we go. And while it's turning on, I'm going to quickly go over the display. So right here we have a 6.7-inch display. Now it seems on paper that it is a big display, but honestly it's more of a remote control display rather than a big one. It is primarily because it is fairly narrow, but it is a tall device. So if I grab my super old device right here, I can quite see how tall it is, and this is with the case on. If I take my case off, you can quite see the difference in the height of this device, but then the width of it is a little bit different. So anyway, let's get rid of this one. So let's go over setup. Can I change the language here, or do I do it? I guess I do it right here. So let's go with English. Now going again with the display, it is a 6.7, like I mentioned. It's a 1080p by 2640 pixels. Actually, I don't want to connect to network. All right, it's Samsung, so I have to connect to network. That is one thing that I kind of hate about these devices. And I believe now it's probably going to want to reset or something like it. So I guess in the meantime, yep, we need to reset it. So in the meantime, I'm gonna quickly finish up the setup, the screen. So it's an AMOLED display with a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's HDR10 plus rated. Comes with a also cover display. So it's this tiny little boy right here. I'll flip it over like this. Now if I get the angle just right, you can see how big the display actually is on here. So you see this kind of like circular display right here. So this is a 260 by 512 pixels cover display. Again, it's a super AMOLED display, so it has the pixels off kind of thing, so it should basically preserve as much battery as it can when it's being used when it's displaying information. So hopefully I can finish this up. One thing that I'll mention right away that I can see right here, we don't have the under display camera right here as the new Fold 3 does. At least one of the displays has it. So the foldable one, the cover one does not. But here we just have this hole punch camera in here, which is a little bit of a shame. But anyway, even the Z Fold or Galaxy Fold 3 didn't really do it that great. I think the Xiaomi Mi Mix, what is it, 4 I think, that came with the under display did it just spectacularly better than the Samsung. And anyway, let's just get this going, come on. Setup here is just an absolute nightmare, I see. So I guess while it's setting up, I'm gonna just flip the display over, or screen, phone, and you can see the double camera setup right here. So both of those cameras are 12 megapixel sensors. One is a wide sensor, the other one is ultra wide, and with those you can shoot at 4K, 30 and 60. At 1080p resolution you can set like 60, and I believe 240 is a slow motion. And then if you drop it even lower, you can shoot a 720p 960 frames per second slow-mo. So that is the super slow-mo. And the device already is getting warm, which is a little bit disconcerting. It's getting warm right here, and all it did is just go through the setup process. Samsung, I guess. So let's just finish this up. Okay, so this should be right about done. So you can get a look at the actual home screen. Now additionally, I'll mention also this camera right on the front. So this is a 10 megapixel wide sensor, and it can record at 1080p, or not 1080p, 4K 30. So one thing that I'll also stop up on is the Samsung trash right here. Really appreciate the inclusion of this at any kind of phone from Samsung. Saying this super sarcastically, because basically everything that they offer right here is just their own plagiarized trash that Google already made, and probably made it better, objectively speaking. So just going quickly over those, we have Samsung Cloud, which is basically rivaled by the Google Cloud, which has been out for longer. We have then Bixby, which we have Hey Google, which objectively works significantly better than this. We have Galaxy Theme, which obviously we have the entire Play Store to theme your device with. We have Spotify. I'm not even sure why is this even here. Before there was no Spotify, but they started including it. Maybe with the device we have some kind of free year trial or something like that of Spotify, but I haven't even seen anything like it, any kind of info about it. So inclusion of this is just kind of like, why? Anyway, moving on, we have the Find My Mobile, which obviously we have Find My Device from Google. We have Samsung Pass, which saves your passwords. Obviously Google did it for way longer, and obviously everybody has a Google account, not everybody has a Samsung account. Then we have Samsung Health, which is just a tracking health application. It works better if you have some kind of Samsung smartwatch or something like that that will also track those. Otherwise this application is kind of useless, I think. Then we have a Galaxy Store, obviously the entire Play Store, which has way more apps than this. We have Secure Folder, which is their way of storing your personal data and having it actually password protected. Now this might, the Secure Folder might be the only thing that I would consider being worth the while, because it is Knox protected, so it is probably going to be a little bit more secure than the typical Google Secure Folder that Google has, but again, Google I believe has it as well. And lastly, we have the Samsung Internet browser. I'm not even going to say anything about it. Now, next thing we get is Take Care of Your Phone. It gives you a bunch of basic information like don't press our fragile display because it is still made out of plastic. When folding the device, try to keep weird objects out of the display. So basically don't keep any cards or anything in between. Which again, anything that can puncture the display, yeah, just kind of try to keep it out of there. Then we have the weird thing, which the phone isn't dust resistant, but it is water resistant. I'm not exactly sure how that is the case. Maybe because of the hinge might not like dust, but I'm just kind of guessing here why one or not the other. Then we have the IPX8, so the water-resistant phone. It isn't really counting salty waters, or it's just pure water. Keep that in mind. So if you, I don't know, take your phone into, I don't know, salty ocean, and something happens to it, yeah, Samsung most likely won't cover that because they will try to use the excuse of it was salty water, so this didn't count. Anyway, then. And below that we have the don't remove plastic film. So the screen protection that is on here, it's not really a screen protection, it's just a screen, in other words, so don't remove it. And lastly, phone has magnets, so keep it away from anything that can be affected by magnets, like hard drives or pacemakers, stuff like that. So this one actually might be important one for people to keep in mind, considering health or storage kind of things. So anyway, I guess this will finish up the setup, and we can finally get a look at this display. So let me quickly change it to something that looks a little bit better. Stop opening up everything that you don't want. So let's go to Wallpapers and change it, not here, change it to some kind of light wallpaper. Apparently Samsung didn't bother including any kind of light wallpapers, so you're stuck with everything that is black with some accents of blue, orange, or whatever other color. Not the best alternative, but anyway. So I guess you can, with the settings open, you can see the display itself, how big it is, the boundaries of it. And I do have to give it a props for keeping the consistency of the display all around. So the bezels are basically equal width all around, so you don't have like a fat chin at the bottom or huge forehead or something like it. So that's really nice. Now anyway, let's close it and see how this looks like. So does this provide us with any... So it looks like it's just bunch of toggles, nothing extra here. You don't have access to any kind of applications. You just have like a bunch of toggles that you can pre-assign here, like voice recorders, as you can see, timers and so on, which is really nice. You can also add some widgets, so weather, to-do list, step counts. So anyway, so still kind of, to me, kind of like Linus said, it's just a gimmick. If you have to have the display, I might as well just open the phone. And again, just like Linus said, if you're keeping the phone on a desk, like some people might do, and you want to use this cover, you might as well just place it like this, open, and look what comes your way, like what kind of notifications you get. So to me, it's just a gimmick. So yeah. Now the phone itself is fairly small, as you can see. It's nothing really big. It will most certainly fit well in your pocket. It is a little bit on a thick side with this kind of wedge shape, as you can see. So it's not closed evenly. And you do have a gap that you can see right here. There we go. So anyway, honestly the design is nice. It's missing a case, which I guess manufacturers of third-party manufacturers will probably start making them. Does have this nice thump when you close it. And yeah, what else is there to say? Let's I guess lastly go over the actual specs of this. So we do have a Snapdragon 888 in here, so at this moment it's the best Snapdragon you can have. We have two different versions of storage, so we have 128 or 256 gigabytes. Both of them come with 8 gigabytes of RAM, so just pick whatever storage type you need, or not type, but however much storage you need. Because if I'm correct, there is no expendable storage. I'm gonna quickly check it as long as I can. There we go. Find the tray. Yep, it's just an SD SIM card. So no SD expansion slot, so keep that in mind. So if you need more than 128 gig storage, you will have to go for the 256. And then going to battery, we have a 3300 milliampere battery and 15 watt charger, which seems a little bit insulting at this point from Samsung. And additionally, this charger doesn't actually come provided with the device, but like I said before, it's something that I'm able to overlook, considering this is a foldable device, basically at a normal price range of every other flagship device with this kind of Snapdragon specs, so I am kind of fine with this one. And then we also have wireless charging, so Qi charging at 15 watts, and, or not 15, my bad, 10 watts. And reverse wireless charging at 4.5 watts. So if you have some kind of earbuds, you can just turn this on, slap them on the back, and charge them up wherever you are. And that's about it. So concluding this, the device is quite nice. It is a foldable device if you're into this, to have a small form factor phone. It is still a little bit chunky when you fold it, so keep that in mind. But if you want to be what I would call an early adopter to foldable devices, I think this is the best time to go for it. It costs as much as any other flagship device from at least Samsung. It costs about $1,000, so basically that's how much every Snapdragon 888 from like Samsung or other known brands cost, minus the Xiaomi. Xiaomi will obviously tramp those prices way down, so Xiaomi would probably come around 700, but then objectively they are not foldable, and this is. And maybe lastly, a thing that I can see, the crease right here, it's still here. It's a little bit more visible on the camera rather than just by feel. The normal Fold, that Fold 3, has this crease a little bit more relevant, so when you're sliding your finger on the screen you can really feel it. Here it's not so much. But anyway, finishing this up, it is a really nice device. I kind of like it. Probably wouldn't get it for myself because honestly I don't really like the fragility of the display itself right here. It is still a plastic display, prone to any kind of damage that glass displays aren't. It will pick up scratches way easier. It will get damaged if you put or like press your fingernail into it hard. You will probably see it. Although apparently this has been improved. The plastic right here is apparently way tougher than it was on the previous models, but still it is plastic nonetheless, so keep that in mind. So that is one of the reasons why I would probably still not want this device, because it is more fragile than any kind of other Gorilla Glass display that you are used to, and you would have to take good care of it. And obviously taking this phone to the beach is a no-go, because sand and hinges don't really go too well. So like the dust resistance, it's a no good combo here. But anyway, this would conclude the overview of it, and honestly, if you probably like this device, if you don't mind having a little bit of a more fragile display, but you really like the idea of having your phone foldable, then this is probably the best device for you to go. It is reasonably priced considering the specs of it, and yeah, there's really not much bad I can say about it that Samsung hasn't already done on all the other devices, like not including a charger or having non-expandable storage. So this is something that you'd probably come to expect from Samsung devices, and there's nothing really surprising here. But the device itself is at a surprising, I guess, price. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.